So after doing this retaining wall work last year, I'm going to work on the other side, and I'm going to redo this area here. So I'm going to lift all this up, and these flags, and I can't make out the paint marks, but I'm going to take this back another 2 more feet, so there's another section of patio stone going in there. And then I'm going to extend this out another 4 feet, so that way we've got a bigger patio. And then I'm going to make that fire pit, instead of a 24-inch, it'll be 36 to 40-inch pit, where I'm going to do a sitting bench, retaining wall, and then level out the grass here, and then build some. I haven't figured out the stairway yet, but you'll see it as this video progresses. Anyways, also what I'm going to do here is go up here, and is in this area here where you see this bush and stuff, I'm going to put an outdoor sauna here with a shower and cold plunge or something. So then you can come up, go down, and then again the retaining wall. This will be level up here, new fire pit area. So I've got this little bracket that connects to the chain on my bucket. I'm trying to figure out the easiest way to lift these things. I ordered that on Canadian company. I find it easier than trying to grab it with my bucket. And I think they weigh like 85 pounds a piece, and yes, I could do it manually, but why bother? Get in and out a lot. Well, this was definitely, even though I'm in and out of this excavator a lot, it's a lot easier to haul these 88-pound slabs out. This is a great rig I ordered. It's some Canadian company called Quick Ease Slab. Here's it's adjustable depending on what size you're on, but you just drop it in place. You can manually lift, or in my case, you hook on, and that's that. So definitely better. All right, so that's day one. Everything's kind of ripped out, all the old stuff. Now start cleaning it up and getting it ready for putting in a new base, and go from there. So my challenge is I've got to leave this pathway so I can come down with the excavator. but it's quite a slope here, so I've got to dig out the sand because I'm going to replace it with proper crushed gravel before I put a new base down. This was just this sand, which wasn't that good, and I've got to take it down to that level there. So I got to figure out just how to, I guess, get some boards and try to level my excavator as much, because it's sitting with the excavators down here. It's going to be sitting at an angle, and I'm trying to level this out flat, and I don't have a tilt bucket. I have one on order, but won't be here in time, so I'll have to somehow level this out so I'm not grading with creating more of a mess, I guess. I'm on right now, but probably use these boards to level up the machine. If I can. Okay, so this is basically the end of day 2. I've hauled away 3 14-foot dump trailers worth of dirt here. Quite a bit more than I thought. But again, the nice thing about clay that's dry, or pretty much dry, is that you can really, you know, there's no sloughing involved. It's pretty good. So now I just gotta measure up the timber, because I'm gonna frame this out in 6x6s, fill it in with compact gravel, etc. Then put patio stones back up, and then we're gonna have a retaining seat and retaining wall. And then up there in this pile here will be the sauna, outdoor sauna. So anyways, all right, another morning. She's pretty much cleaned up and dug out, ready for putting in the gravel and whatnot. So we've got the gravel here. I picked that up yesterday afternoon. And that's the base gravel, 3/4 inch crush. And then I got Rona here from Prince George delivering my 6x6s and all my building supplies. So thanks, Rona. Okay, so until my plate compactor shows up, I'm pretty much stalled out, but I'm using 3/4 inch crushed limestone rock as the perimeter under. This is where the 6x6s will go. And once that's all packed and leveled, then I'll put the 6x6s down and we can start building from there. So just packing this base down, got to make it sure it's really level. This is where all the 6x6s will go. And then once the 6x6s are in, we'll fill this area in. I'll put in some geo tarping, and we'll put in about 3-4 inches of gravel, and we'll carry on. Okay, so last night I got in this 20-foot beam, and it's all level, so that's my starting point, 20 feet. Then I'll put in the other beam here, and then we'll put in some cross ones. Once everything's level, we'll spike it in with 4-foot 5/8 rebar, I think. Yeah, 5/8 rebar, 4 feet long. So purchased this Brassy here, attachment to skill saw, because somebody on my channel there that seen my last project suggested I don't use just a regular skill saw and cut 4 times and hack it. Just buy one of these. They're about, I can't remember what I paid, $130 or something, and works like a charm. But, I had to, when I lined this up, I had to make a new mark of where the line was, because everything's protruded out a little bit farther, the offset. So I use the square, because I can't see either once I'm looking down, the stars cutting. Works like a hot damn. And 3 times faster than dealing with a typical saw. So I pretty much have all this done, but I messed up a little bit because I've got exactly 20 feet that goes from the green edge just below above the brick to here, which is fine. So 20 feet to the outside makes it exactly 10 of those 2 foot by 2 foot concrete patio stones. Fit perfect. And it's actually going to be level. Those stones will come up over top and finish off at the edge, so you're actually not going to see this base. But what I didn't think about was I still need to build a retaining wall here, you know, at least a couple of levels up. Like it's going to transition higher, up, step up to about there, and then bench. So if the tiles are to the outside edge, I got no place for my retaining wall, so I'm going to run a second 12 foot piece along here, and then I'll build the wall up from there. And if anybody's wondering, the patio stones will not come over this edge. They're going to butt up to here. So I'm going to have this wall go up 3 levels because this is where the not workbench, but a sitting bench plus the retaining wall. So anyways, I'll go cut 12 foot piece, and this is this device for cutting is just a world of difference. Way easier. Best, like I said, 130 bucks I've ever spent. This Prezi adapter for my skill saw. Cut 6x6s like nothing. So I don't know what I was thinking when I did last year. I thought they were I didn't even think. I just ordered 4-footers, and obviously this is overkill, but should only be 3-footers. I'm too lazy to go cut them right now, so I'm going to try to put them in the ground with the jackhammer and see if that'll work. What I did was I made up a bit with a little socket so that it'll fit over top. Okay, so at least that makes it easy. But this will never go anywhere. Okay, now I just gotta make sure it's all square. Where's my level? Here we go. So it's square that way. Sure everything's level. I know I'm not pulling that out again. Here's the level. Shit, well, looks like I'm gonna get a lot of rain here in a few minutes. Feet. 4 feet. And this different should be 5 feet. Inside to inside. Well, it stopped raining for a bit, but I won't do much because of the clay. I am not working in wet clay, but as long as I can pound these rebars in, that'll be good for the rest of the day. the skill software. Yeah. Well, that's the first boater out. I don't know if you can see him, but it was -2 Celsius this morning. Yeah, there he is, tuber. There's some dedicated people, because it's only +12 Celsius right now. Great for working in, but I sure wouldn't play in it. Whew. I'm out of shape. Alright, so I got the base down here. So what I did first was take 10-inch beam screws, or whatever they call them, and I sucked them into place and made sure that this was all level and square before I pounded in the 5/8 rebar. So I'm out of breath, man. That was a lot of work for an old fart. So from now, I've still got to put in one more 6x6 up against the bricks. That'll go just to the edge, and then a 6x6 coming out to here, because I'm going to have basically 4 feet coming out, and then this retaining wall is going to take off 4 feet away from the house or the cabin and go up. So leave that dirt for insulation for the foundation and all that, because we get cold weather in the winter here. What I got to do is cut this off here and at a 45, because I'm going to be running drain tile all the way around, and that guy's going to get in the way. So there. Works so good. Perfect. So again, what I've done is I just wanted to make room for the drain tile to come around, because it's going to be on the back side. It's going to come around, drain tile, and then go into solid pipe off there. And then on the inside, I don't really have to worry about the inside. You're going to see that I put the first I'm going to pack some gravel down, tarp it, and then rest gravel. But I basically have a drainage ditch in gravel, so anything inside that's caught will migrate to the outside and work its way out. Just gotta make sure the water coming off that hill doesn't stick around, because this is all clay, and when it gets 25 below, wet stuff moves, frozen big time. So I'm laying down this base and watching on YouTube the pros do it. 3/4 inch crush. By packing a couple inches of this over the clay, it punctures holes, if you will, and breaks up the clay. Before I put another, probably about another 3 inches of 3/4 inch, and then I will grade it with 3/8 or half, or 3/8 or 1/4 inch crush. That will level before the patio stones go on top. So okay, so I got some gravel left in the back of the dump trailer, but I can't really get it with the excavator without beating the shit out of my tailgate, so we'll build a little ramp, and hopefully that works. So we'll see what happens here. So I ordered from Amazon an in-out wireless winch system for doing your winches and stuff. But on YouTube there's how to wire it into your dump trailer so you can wirelessly operate your dump trailer, which works really slick. Yeah, it wasn't much at all, and it only took me about a half hour to wire it wirelessly. So if you're working by yourself, it's nice. Won't bore you with tons of raking here, but what I am going to do is so I'm going to leave about 3.5 inches below the top of the post, because what I'm going to do is grade it so that there's a slight grade from there to here. I'm going to pack it one more time into the clay. Then I'm going to put geotarp down, and then I'll put more 3/4 inch gravel on top of the geotarp. I'll level it, but I'm not going to pack it. And then once it's leveled, I'll level it to about 1 inch below. And then I'm going to take the 1/4 inch or 3/8 crush and put it as a topper before the patio stones. And it'll go level with this 6x6, because the patio stone's actually going to rest over top on the edge, and so it'll be flush with the top of the 6x6s. So So this is the geotarp. It's a woven kind of a mesh, but it lets water through really slowly. But we'll put the 3/4 gravel on top, and then once that's level, then I'll put the go get some 1/4 inch crush as a final leveling stone prior to putting on the patio stones. Actually, one of the tricks that I learned when I did the other side of the cabin here last year, when I did the retaining wall, you can see that on the other YouTube video I have, how I made that. But I made the mistake of framing out the entire thing out of 6x6s. So then what it did was I wasn't able to get close enough with the excavator to reach down below. So I had to really manually hump a lot more gravel, but also rig out something like this, but more extensive for getting the gravel down. So this time I decided I'm going to just build the base, get everything kind of in place, and then build from there. And then that way I can utilize the equipment as much as I can. So I pretty much packed down the base now, just with the manual packer, and I have a range of 1 to 2 inches. That's the plan, is to put 3/8 clear crush, same as this stuff, but only 3/8 instead of 3/4, and then I will lay the new version of these 2 foot by 2 foot tiles, 2 by 2. So that'll be a heavier part because those buggers are like 90 pounds a piece. And once that's laid, then I'm going to start finishing off the retaining wall work. And again, the reason I'm doing that is because I want to use the excavator, which only has a limited reach, 12 feet, to be able to reach and pack the 2 by 2 patio stones down onto here first. Because if I start building a retaining wall and work my way out, then I've lost that reach, and I'm having to do everything by hand, which wouldn't be too excited to do. So nice thing about dry clay is you can dig it out and form it, and I like working with it because then there's not a lot of sloughing or groundwork. So one conundrum that I didn't, or I never thought through, was I've got drain tile that goes along here and slowly goes its way out. So I need this height for gravel, and I need 5 inches. So I guess what I'm going to do is just notch out a piece to accommodate the drain tile, because I really need this height here for slope. So anyways, that's what I've been sort of thinking over before I carry on. Sorry, I keep forgetting to bring this camera along, but it's cutting out the notch, and again, using this thing, this works well. They say just every 10 or 12 cuts, put in some silicone lubricant for lubrication. There, it doesn't have to be pretty, as it's going to be in the ground anyways, but it's kind of the goal there. So let's see if that fits. Okay, so I put, for those looking at details, put the preservative in there. So I like about dry clay, maybe a little bit hard, but it's easy to form and Makes for a good base. And that's a little bit too high yet. Another inch. Whew. Little flies all over the place. Holy crap, that's perfect. Okay, so I just got to take it down a little bit more to make room for the gravel. Guess I could have done this with the excavator. We just can't see very well down above there at that angle, and not quite as accurate. a bit more. Now, I'm still gonna go down more. Touching that line. Jesus, he's fly. Not much, but I said, one thing I learned, if you don't get the base going straight, everything goes for shit after that. That's almost perfect. Perfect. All right. Now, I will screw those two guys into place. And I don't know what it is, if the flies are getting born or what it is. I had a shower, so it ain't me. All right, and Hatch City. Do. Flies go away. Yeah, so here's a better look. 10-inch. And worked like a hot damn. Okay. Perfect. Ooh, yay. So I'll be drilling holes and putting in rebar on both sides. Stake that in place. If you're wondering. Oh. Perfecto. Yeah, I know that hammer's small, but that's all I got. Unless I got a steel one. Yeah, I think what I'll do is once I've finished this one on here, I'll have to clean this up and then put the rest of that geogrid, whatever that material is, wrap it around, because this is perforated pipe, but then when I hit the corner it's solid pipe to go out. Kind of just get that ready, and I think I'll good enough for today. So I just busted off this little the sleeve, stainless steel weld. There's a lot of rattling going on, so can't see. Gonna have to MacGyver it because I got no welder anywhere nearby. Actually, I guess that's not true. I got my buddy down the street there that's got a welder, but well, I know what we'll do. Tape it on. Because all it is a sleeve. A sleeve to just keep the my sleeve broke off, so I'm duct taping it together, or electrical taping it together. Well, just, you know, the welds, there's so much hammering.
Hammer time. Oh, you got the rebars in that. Don't fall on those. Okay, let's go.
Times. It's pretty warm. Yay. Thought for sure I was gonna have to do that by hand. So anyways, takes it's coming along. Got one more row of 6x6, and then it's going to go back 2.5 feet because this is going to be a sitting bench here, and then we'll go up. So just before I get too carried away with all the beam work, I'm just gonna get the drain tile kind of in place, make sure everything's working and draining in the right direction. There. So like I said, I got the drain tile running along here, and then it goes to solid pipe, which will head out. Good morning. So it's been about 5 days since I've been out here, and we've had a lot of rain. And I started thinking I might have got ahead of myself a little bit. I still gotta just make sure that drain tile there is actually got a good grade on it. But in here, because I put down this geogrid stuff, it does let water through, but at a very slow rate. And I started thinking, because I've got the tarp or the geogrid, you can see it's under there, that even though after a ton of rain we've had in a few days, it has dissipated. But I thought seeing as it's easy enough right now to do, I just dug a trench out, and I'm going to put in this PVC pipe, and I've drilled holes, and I'm just going to make a drainage, put a drainage pipe in, and then have it come out here at the lowest point, just as an extra. So if we get tons more rain or whatever, besides it slowly trickling through the geogrid stuff, that it'll actually get out quicker. So that's the theory anyways. What I'm doing is plugging up the holes. I had pre-drilled these two pipes completely, and I realized that the outflow, I don't want perforated pipes, so I'm just going to take some tuck tape and cover it back in, fill in the holes. That should be fine for there. couldn't so the next row, it's exactly at 4 feet, and then I'll keep building a row this way for a bit and then spread it out. Yeah, that almost lined up perfect. I kind of had the distance correct to here, but to here made it a little bit deeper. So I'm going to leave the gap here and fill it full of pea gravel, because my fire pit, which is going to go over here, will have pea gravel around it anyways, match the patio stones. So I'm going to shut her down for the day. There's another storm coming in over there, and we got just over halfway done today, so that's good. Do the rest tomorrow as long as it's not raining. It's only 3 in the afternoon, but I'm pretty much toast. No sense hurrying. So why I left this out is because there'll be another 2 more space, 2 more, because it's going to be a 4-foot area for the fire pit. All right, got the patio stones down. I think, as I mentioned before, I had left this one unscrewed, so because I'm not a professional, these tiles actually overran by about 1.5 inches, so then that way I could just adjust this accordingly. But where I did kind of mess up was I didn't make it perfectly square. You'll see the gap, it narrows. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unscrew these top 2 layers, and I'm going to pull this forward a bit. The rest of the stuff's not screwed in yet, or if there is only a couple, so it shouldn't be a big deal to do a slight adjustment here. So that's what I'm going to do. I thought I was recording when I was taking this apart and putting it back, but I guess I wasn't. But anyways, I'm just in the process of putting it back, so now there's a even 3/4 inch gap all the way along. So that's a nice thing with working with screws. At least you can fix your screw ups, right? So we'll see if we can record some of this. I stripped a nut, so I got to cut it off. And then, or not stripped a nut, stripped a screw. And put in a new one. Here we go. Just finished charging up the battery, so that's why you missed me cutting, which isn't that exciting anyways. So I'm just going to put in the next level, screw everything into place, and we'll carry on. So I'll put this on warp speed or whatever they call it, and enjoy. Morning. So I'm just digging out a bit of ground here because I'm going to have the 6x6 is more than I need lengthwise, so I'm going to tie in because I've got to put a dead man in this way. So I'll dig this out and then good. I got enough room to put some gravel down first, and then I can put a beam across there, and I only need the one because I'm only going to go about this high on the here, I think. So is the plan anyways. It's just called design on the fly. Kind of general idea, but you kind of wait till things start going together. I don't know if you're noticing, but I'm From my last project, I never drilled pilot holes prior to putting in these guys because you don't need to, but it makes it a little nicer, just quicker and easier on the torquing when you drill a pilot hole. So that's why, if you're wondering. That should be a foot. Perfect. Mind you, I have the luxury of moving that around because it's only one screw. Okay. And I'll probably put a brace somehow, just ad hoc a chunk of wood going at an angle. Not that it really needs it. By the time I screw all that down, that ain't going anywhere anyways, the more I think about it, I guess. So anyways, just thinking and planning out loud. This next one, 33 bang on. 33, perfect. All right, so I need to cut a piece 33 inches. So I'm really liking this this beam saw thing that someone suggested I get. It is amazingly easier than using a skill saw or even just a freehand chainsaw. So this is and the 33-inch one, and I don't think I have 33 inches already cut anywhere. You're wondering why I'm cutting up a good 16-footer is because this one's got a bow in it that I can't reuse. So I'm also use it for short, hacky jobs. 33. Yep. I'm gonna have to tighten that up. Next cut. Beauty. Like, look at how nice that is. Damn. Anyways, I'll go back. And we'll perfect. So that's that one. Cut a little 1-footer for that. And we'll need a 43 and an 8. Coffee break. Coffee cookie break time. So I'm hoping to have most of this done by tomorrow. Things go according to plan. Yesterday, where I was just slammed with mosquitoes, but today, at least this morning, it's only 9 a.m. and it's only about 12 Celsius right now, so it's just cool, light breeze, which is nice to work in. So if any of you guys have any suggestions to do things better or blah blah blah, I'm more than open to hearing what you have to say. If somebody hadn't have told me about that bean cutter, I'd still be doing that long drawn out skill saw cut. So those suggestions are definitely helpful. Kind of screwed up when I grabbed that tarp. I didn't think it was a big deal, but I forgot that the drain tile was underneath it, so I lifted up my drain tile, which is now no longer level, So I'll have to spend a few minutes cleaning that up first. Alright, well I thought I'd spare you the agony of watching me redo my drain tile after I messed it up with the excavator pulling up the tarp. But anyways, we'll kind of formulate, put everything kind of back. Kind of like Lego. Kind of how I'm thinking. We'll go. Okay, perfect. Got lots of room for gravel. And I guess we'll go get some. So I have this rope all cut and it's not screwed into place yet. Now I'm gonna I gotta get all the ends done up with preserved wood additive first, and then we'll be good down to screw this layer down. So many angles, lots of little pieces. What I'm going to do here for clean this out of here. There, a little bit cleaner. Turn on my perfect. Okay. I'm gonna dig this out right there. Okay. 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 Well, that's enough digging with the excavator for now. Now I gotta kind of humped. I got another hour to wait before my screws show up because I'm out of screws. But I got everything kind of pre-cut and sitting. And I can't do much more until this level's screwed in. Okay. Good morning. Well, it's about 8:30, a little bit of a late start, but I'm gonna lay down, pick up a 20-foot beam. Nice and cool. It's only about 10 Celsius today, but clear skies and a light breeze keeps the mosquitoes away. We usually get mosquitoes for about a week or two, and then they're gone. I'm really liking this tilt bucket. Tell you, it's a hell of a lot easier than using that cart on the strap. Okay. Which is the prettiest side? Nope. Yeah, that'll turn out to be, because this stuff dries out pretty, like this brown will only last the year and then it'll fade out. I don't know if you can see the stuff over there, but that's last year. Pretty much faded straight out, but that'll take, let's see here. I'll use this for now. It'll pretty much fade out. I don't want to dent that up. Perfect. So that's what that's going to do. So I'm going to use this as a planter area. So the next one's going to start here and go back. So now I'm dealing with from now on for the next 2 more levels up to here will be a just a flat wall. All this in and out stuff's done, and then I just got to tidy it up. Okay, so I'm just gonna dig that out. That's basically a false end to match the other end, because my 20 footer was 4 inches too short for this full length. So having both in solved my one piece 20 foot problem. I try not to do little pieces like 8 feet and having seams all over the place. I try to do everything in full swaths, other than when you have dead men or whatever support. Okay, well, I won't bore you with the next because I'm just going to stand here and think for a minute. I'm just going to put some of this wood preservative on, or screw these down. So like I said, I'm doing this one a little more than I normally would, just because this is just a fake dead man. And that's going right in there. Like so. Try not to get stuff to bleed out on this side, because that's the side you can see. So this guy is going to go in like so, and then I'll be able to screw it down. And like I said, that'll be a fake one, because the next level is going to have a dead man in the middle heading out, and so that'll give me my 6 inches and enough length that I have clear span again without any cuts. So we will, and seeing as I don't want to, I don't know if there's any of this left that'll work. I had this old PL, which was I gotta use it up because I had to cut it. It was already drier than a popcorn fart. But I'm surprised that it's still, even after it kind of dried out, it still seems to have because that, once that PL sets, it ain't nothing, it's never moving. And I don't want to really put a screw into it. I might put a screw in from the back. There. That'll be that. There, that'll be a good little fakery one. Okay. Yeah, my Rona were out of the 10-inch, so I went with 12. So now you're getting like mega. This wall will be majorly overbuilt, but it's the last one I ever want to build, so. Actually, I might not want there. I'll go here. And one here. Sure impressed with these rigid tools. I mean, I know there are lots of them that are really good, but for a guy that's not a full-timer, just a home hack, it definitely do the job. I don't think I need one there because I'm going to have a dead man going that way. And an extra for good luck. Alrighty. There. I guess I don't have to worry about this end because it's not going to be seen. All right. Yeah, that's nice and straight. I don't know about that end piece though. It doesn't look high enough. This thing goes on top. Will it have a gap? That'll look good. Good enough for the girls I go out with, which is only one, my wife. Okay. Start screwing them down. It's amazing how many screws you get out of this, like how strong this is for driving 12-inch spikes or 12-inch. Not all this wood is easy to get to. Some of it's pretty dense. Alright, well, we'll put her on fast because it's not worth watching me do this all day. Alright, so I'm going to run a dead man here, one out there, and then one at the end here. And then that's because I've got to go up one more level on top of that, and then it's going back 4 feet. Or, well, the actual box will be 4 feet. The dead man will be farther back, but I'm just going to get some, while I'm thinking of it, so I don't forget, just put a couple of screws in this little fake one. There. Between that and the glue, she ain't going anywhere. Alright, I guess we'll get rid of this. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to put 3 dead man heading that way. I think I did this one already, yeah. Yeah, I did that the other day. That's where my first guy's going to go, so it lines up with the guy below. Now this one, oh, it's too long for that. Okay. bullet. Where's my little level? Do that instead. That side. That side. And then this one will be easy because that's just shooting straight in there. Or do I put it on this one? I think I'm going to put it on this one. Yeah, because that's, I'm going to be tapering the ground in. It's going to be lower here, and I'm going to be building it up a little bit. So I think I'll do the dead man here instead. That'll line up with this anyways. Yep. That's what I'll do. Okie dokie. So, okay, so I'm gonna figure out these dead men. I'm gonna have to get the excavator and dig out. So that's about there. So what am I going to use to mark that so I can see it from the excavator? Where's my flags? I'll use these. Need to go down to that level there. I definitely need to go down. Basically, try to get the bucket down to this without removing the flag, and then I know pretty much got it. Want to go a couple inches lower than that because I'm going to put gravel in. Before I put the actual beams down. So we'll get some spray paint. Not much of a reason I'm doing this is I know I won't see that from the excavator, but I want to go out at least 5 feet. Should, eh? Okay, my battery's got to change here. See you in a bit. So I've pretty much marked where I've got to dig for these dead men. And this I'm just going to use so I can, again, when I'm sitting in the excavator, kind of need to know from there how far I have to dig at that level there. So I'll leave that there to give me an eyeball. So I'm going to go in. Yeah, I guess. That's where the final one will be. I'll do some digging. I always feel safer swinging away that's not towards my cabin. That's that one. I'm gonna go check that and make sure it's see how level that was. Wow. Awesome. Okay, so I just got to take it back a little bit further. I got to go to a total of 6 feet, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah, back to there. Okay. that's going to come down some more to about there. Yep. Feet distance is good. Yeah, if you guys are wondering why the hell I'm not digging everything out, I was just wondering the same thing. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to start back over here and just where that bench is, I'm just going to completely clear it all the way out. Because I was just thinking, yeah, I think the second level my wife wants to kind of use a garden, if you will, or plants and flowers, so I have to dig out the clay anyways. Forgot about that part. So anyways, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so another day, just got here, had a load of got some short 6x6s, so I've got 9 16-footer 6x6s, and I got 2 yards of gravel underneath. So that gravel is just straight drain rock to fill in behind the excavator, so, or with the excavator. Sorry guys, I keep forgetting. I think I hit the play button and it's not playing, so I think I got her now. I'm surprised that this board didn't break. It kept everything off by a little bit. So if you're trying to wonder what I'm doing, I thought I could put gravel on top of this geotarpy woven stuff, but it's a little slippery, so I wanted something with a little bit more of a foundation, so I had broken up patio stones I use, and then I'll fill in with some gravel underneath as well, but use the stone as a primary leveling, and then at the back of each one I'm gonna jackhammer some 4-foot rebar in there, and that'll be more than enough to survive any earthquake around here or clay that may want to move. But having the tarp start here and all the way through to the drain pipe keeps this clay area pretty much dry. So in the middle of winter, when we're 15, 20, 30 below Celsius, and then in the middle of winter it's known to warm up, you know, January, February for a few days or a week, and then rain. And the last thing I need is, you know, clay heaving and getting wet and then freezing again. So might be a bit overkill, but do it right, do it once at least. Good morning. Another start to the day, and the only thing you missed was I cut that top beam there, because I'm gonna screw that into place first, and then I will fill in. I got 2 more rows I've got in between these beams, and then 1 more level, the same level as the back row. And then from there, I'm going to cut out, figure out what I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to go 1 more level, and then I'm going to go at a 45 and head that way, so that my walkway is more comfortable coming down instead of being a square in between that and the trees. So that's the plan. So we'll put you on time lapse and enjoy. So I'm just going to put some rebar. If you're wondering if it's overkill, it is. I don't know what I was thinking, but I ordered 4-foot rebar when I should have ordered 3-foot. So anyways, I'm just going to sharpen up the ends a little bit, just because it's got to go through gravel and the tarp, and I just thought it'd make it easier for the few seconds it takes. And then we'll drive rebar into these 4 beams, and that'll be that for retaining. I mean, it's, like I said, it's basically overkill, but might as well do her seeing as I have it all. Right. I'll put one more here, and then I'm going to do a 45 because this will get filled in with dirt. There's some kind of a walkway I'll come up with. There. Doesn't look that warm here, but it's 19 Celsius and humid, and it's right. I'm gonna put down the last 20 footer that goes along the top that caps this. I made a mistake in my last comment. I said a 4-foot wall. That's a 3-foot wall, the big one here. And then it'll go 4 feet back, and then it's a 2-foot wall. So one last cap, so I'll use the excavator to pack that 20 footer because it's not fun to move. And then this is the angle that the path, the dirt will go over and then down. So I will, everything's not tacked, it's just cut, but just laying there. So let's see what we can do. Oh, rain, go away. I do not like wet clay. I don't know if you can see it coming down the lake here. That's probably the prettiest side right there. Let's see. That fits like so. Okay. So that's the cap. be perfect, other than this one piece is small, so I got to put something underneath it because it wasn't the same dimensions exactly, 6 by 6. Okay, well that works. So that's as high as it's going to go for that. And we'll build up this box here. Fill that in a little bit with dirt. Wife can plant flowers or whatever. All right, I'm going to turn this off for a minute, take a break, seeing it's starting to really rain. Another morning, and I didn't video the last hour of work here just because I finished screwing in and mounting all that, along with wrapping everything so that you can't tell right now, but down below it goes out, it opens up into this area here where the drain tile is, and then that'll flow out that way. So anyways, we're gonna start filling it up with gravel. Okay. I think I'll just back the dump trailer up. Yeah, she's... It looks like I'll be making a few more trips than planned to get gravel. Okay, well, I need about twice as much there. Not twice as much, maybe one more load there. This can be whatever, this will slough through. So definitely probably about 3 yards. So I'm going to fill it up to about probably 6 inches below this. And then I'm going to put in topsoil here because this will be an area to put plants or whatever. Another beautiful morning. What you missed this morning was me unloading 2 more yards of gravel. And so I'm a total of 4 yards and still haven't filled this up. So I'm totally underestimated how much I needed. But I've got to fill these seeding boxes up a bit more because what's on this side I got to stop it from slowly draining into here. So once I have that level on both sides, that blocks that, and then I can fill this up still about another foot, and then I'll be done with the gravel. So I guess 2 more yards. It's always good to have a little extra, but I've been saying that now for 2 trips. So anyway, she's coming along. I'm gonna work on finishing off the timber work, and then that's it for timber work. So I'll do up this back wall, a couple dead men that way, and just finish filling in some of this stuff, which you'll see in a while. And then, yeah, it'll just be some more gravel backfilling, and then landscape work. Well, another morning, pretty much got the framing all done. And now which I didn't video, was I was taking the tooth bucket and scraping up this clay, ripping it up because it's hard. I've got to reroot it. So what I'm going to do is just figuring out how I'm going to slope it, just a little bit of a grade so the water everything comes this way. I cleared out this area here now for where the sauna is going to go. So those orange flags are roughly the base I've got to build, frame out for putting the outdoor sauna on. And so today, all is my job. I'm going to clean this up and this clay stuff, kind of grade it up a little bit. And then I got a little bit of gravel still to fill in, which I have in my trailer right now over there. I got just a yard of gravel. Finish off a few little areas with the gravel, and then I just gotta get the ground prepped to put the 6x6 frame base on it, and then put that together, and then I'll bring in sandy loam and then topsoil and then sod. So here we go. I'll go get the excavator first. So I'm not sure if the time lapse caught everything because the battery had died. I'm not doing so well with this video. Anyways, this sucker is nice and square. I don't know if picked up, but I used the jackhammer to pound in the rebar. I put rebar in 3 spots once I had it square. I'm leaving no rebar in the front because that's the front where the sauna is going to go out, and I didn't want any little holes or ugliness. So anyways, that's where the sauna is going to go. We'll be backfilling that. I'll just put some 3/4 inch crushed gravel in there, and then once that's all in there, a little bit more gravel work around the retaining wall and down the sidewalk stairs over there, or not stairs but sidewalk, and then we'll be bringing in the sandy loam ready for sod. As you can tell, I'm not the best at videoing things because I keep forgetting either to charge the batteries or whatever, but so I've leveled the ground with this 3/4 inch crush. I've put bases down, and I used a piece of cardboard template just to measure everything, and then I painted out the yellow line so I knew where to focus my leveling. And so that's been done, and then now everything is level. I'm just going to screw this 2x4 on to separate, make sure these stay where they are, because I've got some nice 3/4 inch washed river rock, round river rock, that I'm going to fill in, cover all this so it looks more like I like river rock. I don't like this white stone. So it's great for construction and bases, but I don't like it as a landscaping feature. So anyways, I'll put it on time lapse and we'll see how she goes. Well, again, I didn't have a camera with me when I was doing some work, so kind of skipped ahead. I got this bricks from Home Depot, and I just kind of generally laid them out right now, but I'm working on the bench right now. So anyways, I'm using these camo screws, and they work great. One of my other videos I showed how I used them, but I'll put them in this one as well, and see if it's a good product. Let's just set this up, and then so it's got like a little clamp that squeezes your 6x6. Take 2 screws, clamp down where I want to go, and these are pre-measured for 1/16. You can buy them with different thicknesses, but this one's 1/16 of an inch gap. So press that into place, let go, clamps. Put a screw on one end, screw on the other, and this drives them in at an angle. There. So then what you get is a nice finish. You don't get much of a hole just on the sort of sides, not right on the top. Someplace I have to go along the top when I can't get at it for angle wise, but anyways, that's what I'm doing. All right, the bench is done. I've also kind of done the rocks. I put the garden soil in there, so that's ready to go. There's garden soil in this one, and then some rocks. So I've just got to work on that later. But right now, my next project is to put a deck over this part. This is where food and drinks can sit when people come off this deck or whatever in the fire pit. We can lay stuff on there. So next project. Well, short day video wise, because I never really did much for videoing, but did finish up all the work. There's the tabletop, the bench. I'll do the fire pit tomorrow, and then I'll be leveling out that ground, getting it ready for some sandy loam. Do a little bit more over here before I can prep the total sandy loam, and then once that's all leveled out, I'll bring in the sod hopefully next week, and then build the sauna. So we went down to Squamish, picked up the Nootka sauna. Everything fit in the back of my pickup truck. And we got it here and assembled it basically in a day. The only thing I can say is that metal roof is a lot thicker than they show in their instructions, so you pre-drill everything. But the only real modification I did to this is I built a box to hide the electrical. Just because I thought it was kind of unsightly, so. This is what it was like. So I just built this box and it just drops on top like so. Yeah, matches up. I just bought some cedar at the local hardware store. It looks a little prettier. And the other thing I did too is I put a screen over the vents holes just to keep the spiders and the ants out. But really happy with the sauna overall. Okay, so completely done. Fire pits together, retaining wall. Best thing I did was use sod and not seed. That's a Nootka sauna. We went down to Squamish and picked it up. It came in like, fit in the back of my pickup truck in pieces and assembled it basically in one day. That bench has already worked out well for us for a lot more room.